because tonight I'm gonna lay it out for you about core de force, and hopefully I can answer any questions you guys have. And I love launches. I remember the first time, like when I was still, like I was a discount coach and kind of trying to understand what was going on, was when T25 launched. And I completely missed the boat because I didn't understand, I wasn't prepared and I didn't really understand what was going on. But when I finally kind of decided to dive into coaching, and the first launch that I was around for, I think as an active coach, was P90X3. And that was when I really realized the power, if you're prepared for a launch, the value it can add to your business. Like for me, when I get excited about them, because not only is it something new and fun, but it usually means a nice rush of new customers, or really reinvigorating people for a solid 2 to 3 months and beyond in my business. So like when I think about using a launch to hit Success Club, which ultimately, which is one of the best benefits of the launch, I assume I work it so that's absolutely going to help me hit Success Club for 2 months, November, December, because this one's launching the beginning of November. So just to give you a little lowdown, first I'll just kind of run through some of the details on core de force. There is an FAQ. It's 5215. If you want to write that down, or you can go to the FAQ and just search core de force and you'll find that. But it's a 30-day program, 30 to 45 minute workouts, and it is considered an MMA inspired workout, which is a mixed martial arts inspired workout, which is focused like total on your total body, but designed to, they say, blast fat and really carve out your waist. I think the idea behind, if you haven't done a lot of mixed martial arts, is that for every movement, you really have to hold in that core. And so you really see a lot of definition. And in the test group results and in the live coach results that we're getting back, because if you didn't know this, what they do about 2 or 3 months before a program launches, they tap certain coaches, depending on their performance, I think, and not just their performance, but like, their ability to transform. And they have them actually commit, like sign documents and like commit to getting the program early and go and following it to a T to see their real live results. And that's what we're starting to see come out right now. And the results are amazing. And you're really noticing it in the core and their definition. So it's like that MMA inspired workout, and it has no equipment required. And I mean, it is, I haven't seen all the workouts. I've really only had a chance to see the one that you guys have, MMA Speed, but I know that there's a lot more variety than just the MMA. You're going to see like Muay Thai, and you're going to see kickboxing. I think there's a specific core focus workout and a stretch workout. So there is more variety than just kicking and punching. But if you did the trial and that's your kind of thing, you realize how much fun it is. The next sneak peek that you guys get access to is October 24th, that everybody gets access to. And I'll dive into that a little bit more, but make sure you let people know about that ahead of time. And then the official release, they had originally said November 1st. It looks like they are going to release it early for October 31st, which is awesome. And sorry, Erica, you're asking a question. But anyway, October 31st. Now, if you haven't been around for a release yet, if you kind of follow this idea behind generating excitement around a launch, I think it is important, if you can, around the time of launch, which is usually around noon Pacific time on that day, at some point in time in your day, you want to make sure you've carved out like an hour of time to focus on letting people know about the launch and what's going on. Sorry, Erica, you said same workout or a different one? What was that regarding?
The sneak peek.
Oh, I bet it'll be the same one. I think it's because they only released it for one day, right? Like you can't access it anymore right now. And then they'll allow people on again that day to try it out. Good question, though. Okay, so that's a little bit about the program. Does anyone have any other questions specific about the program? There is a modifier, but you can see so you could start out as a beginner, but it does take a little bit of coordination, and then you can ease into it definitely being a more intermediate advanced workout.
You said there's no equipment required?
No equipment.
Somebody else is asking that too. So like no weighted gloves, no nothing?
No, I mean, you've seen me, I know, do it with the weighted gloves, but those are just Turbo Fire gloves that I've had for a long time. And I like to
Just
use
like
them. Yeah. So,
Okay.
I mean, they're not that expensive. Those are on Beachbody On Demand if people want them, but they're not using them in the workouts.
Bria, did you see? So I think it was Fit and Funky. I don't know if anybody follows Fit and Funky. Danielle, she actually posted something, and Joel shared it because she used weighted gloves and posted that in her sneak peek, and she got like a tap on the wrist because he was like, "We specifically designed this so you actually don't." Like, you're not supposed to use weighted gloves. So she was like, okay, people that designed it said so. So I thought that was pretty funny because then he shared that out because she was like, put a big X through her weighted gloves.
I'm so glad you said that because I was totally going to do it again tomorrow with my weighted gloves.
Maybe it'll get his attention. I don't know.
Yeah, right? Anyway, okay. I was just going to say something about Joel. I have to tell you guys a funny story. Can I tell you really quickly? So Joel was at the Toronto the Toronto Super Saturday last. And at the end of the Super Saturday, I was going in to like give, I think some of the stuff that I was supposed to take home from being a part of the council. And it's like in his little dressing room, and a couple of the other council members are there. And I'm like rushing. So I'm trying to like hug people goodbye and go. And I thought he was coming to give me a hug. And he's trying to get by me. And I'm trying to hug him. And it was like literally the most embarrassing moment ever. Sorry, I just had to get that in. It was so funny. I was like, he's like, I'll come back. I'll come back and give you a hug. I know, right? It was awesome. I'm like red-faced just thinking about it. Okay. So, all right. So the goal of the launch, as I said, is really, for me, it's to have people ready to order, like in that moment. And it's really as we gear up to it, what we want is to generate interest and to build excitement about this actual date of launch. Like, ideally, if you follow this system, you should be hitting Success Club on the day of the launch. You should be getting people to order on that day. Because a couple things happen. It's one, you want to start by knowing right now, like, when are your challenge groups that you're going to do? I call them test groups. I like to call them test groups because for me, they're a test too. It's the first time that I'm doing the program from start to finish. And I think people like that, right? Because I haven't even had a chance to like show much beyond it, or I'm getting to experience it too. So they're going to go through the program day to day. The challenge group's going to be fresh and new. The content's going to be fresh and new. And it's going to be coming from my in the moment perspective as I coach them through it. So I think people like that concept. But I do think it's important what's worked for me anyway, is to have 2 different challenge group dates. I'll usually have one that starts the 7th. Like, so if let's say it's all launching on the 31st of October, I'll be having one that starts the 7th. Now, I may make that prep week. It really depends on whether there's a back order or not and how quickly things get out. But either way, the first one will start no later than the 14th. And then I'll probably have one starting, the first week of December. Or the last week of November, around that time. So I think it's important to pick 2 dates so that you give people options. When I lock it down to just one date, I find if that date doesn't fly for someone, then they don't go. Whereas if I can give them options, they'll be like, okay, well, this one works a little bit better than that one, and off we'll go. But it's a good time of year, I think, for a launch, because it's like we're heading into the holidays, but it's not impeding necessarily on the holidays and people's holiday drinking time. Okay, so here are my step-by-step things that I'm doing now and when I'm going to do them to make sure that I'm fully ready and having people ready to order in that moment of the launch. First and foremost, do the workout. So if you didn't get to do it already on the 3rd, make sure you're marking it down to do the workout on the 24th, which is the next one. If you haven't done it though, this week, there are at least 3 or 4 MMM style workouts on Beachbody On Demand that are available to you. Do those workouts, video yourself doing those workouts, and talk about why you're doing them and what you're excited about because of the launch of this new program. So just so you have those, one is P90X3 has one, I think it's called MMA X or something. Oh, and you're saying you think it's still available, Carla. So it might be still available. It might just not be available to, I don't know, non-coaches. Kenpo, which is from P90X, is a really great MMA style workout, and pretty much anything Turbo Fire. It has like a lot of that style in it. So I think just getting in there and doing that type of workout and generating interest around who likes that kind of workout. That's what I'm seeing when I'm posting that workout, is like I might throw a question in there being like, is this your type of workout? Or, gosh, it really felt so good to like kick and punch it out. And I'm hearing from people back, like I'm letting them know about my up and coming test groups through my posts. So I would encourage you to be doing one of those workouts at least once a week. You would also, Jody said it would also be a good idea to do Jericho's other workouts, or would it also be? Absolutely. You could talk about that as well if you're not in the middle of a program. But I think that if you're in the middle of your own program and you're going to like switch out one workout or something, then I would stick to the MMX style, or the MMA style. Sorry. Okay. So make sure you're doing that at least once a week, but talk about it in your social media posts at least 3 times a week right now, because this is up and coming, and not everybody sees our posts. It might feel like when we post, the whole wide world sees it, but they don't. So make sure when you are like at least 3 times a week, you're talking about this program launching and how you're excited about it, how you can't wait to do it. If you're a leader coach and you have coaches in your downline, make sure you're talking to them about it. The excitement and the buzz of it really feeds all of us, right? If we're all talking about it, our customers, our challengers, other people are going to be watching and they're going to get excited about it too. And probably before I kind of move on to the next step that I'm using, I really want to underline that fact that your excitement will dictate what happens around this challenge. And I know that because I wasn't particularly excited about Country Heat launching, but when I finally got on board, I started to see the excitement of the people around me and like my current network of people over that program. But until I share what's exciting about it and why I'm excited about it, like nobody's going to care, right? That's the whole point, is like people don't watch infomercials really anymore. They don't, it's not old school that way. So they're either going to see it from another coach in social media, or they're going to see it from you. And if it's your current network of people, and that's actually a really key point, is that not only are we going to be reaching new people who like this style workout, but you actually get to re-engage your whole network of people who have been kind of following you, or your whole customer base who has done stuff with you, and get them excited about doing this style of program. So it's sort of twofold. Okay, so step 3. Email your customer base. If you have a customer base, right? If you have been doing this for, I know this doesn't help as much if you've only been doing this for a month or 2, but if you've been doing this for a few months, send out like a bulk email to your customer base about the program launch coming, and then about specifically inviting them to your test groups. Like probably over the next couple of weeks, you could talk about it 2 or 3 times in a bulk email. If you're my personally sponsored coach, you should have received one of those emails already. So make sure you're doing that, so your personally sponsored coaches are seeing those emails and know what to do. And this just helps. Like I think people get excited about that. Okay, the next step, and this is a really big one, this is sort of a big key part of what I do, is to create an event. So often when we're marketing on social media, we do these calls to action, right? We're putting out, talking about our up and coming challenge groups and what's going to be happening in there. This is when I usually take the opportunity to create an event in my social media profile or my business page, whichever one, because it gives you the opportunity to invite up to 500 people in your network. So you can kind of target it down to decide who you're inviting. And what I love about it is that when we do a call to action, really only so many people get to see that call to action in the news feed, right? Like as they're scrolling through, they might see it if they're on social media within the time frame. In an event, when I push an event out and I invite all of you guys, you're going to get an email notification that invites you to my event. And people get pretty excited when it's like new program, Core to Force. You're going to get to put a picture up in there, do a video or something of you talking about it so that they can sense your excitement and understand your excitement too. And then what happens once you've invited all those people and put that event out, and of course, if you have questions on that, no, I don't think the e-card is out yet, Rachel. Sorry, I just saw that message. I noticed it should be out soon, but it's not out yet. if you have questions about how to create an event, just reach out to your upline or reach out to me. I'll walk you through it. It's really the same as creating a group. But you'll want to I usually pick the date and set it as the date of when the program launch is, so that people know that that's when it's really kind of live and happening. I run the event basically from now until order day, which would be November 1st. And I will open up my event next week. So 2.5 to 3 weeks before launch, that's when I'll open up my event. Because what's going to happen is I'm going to open up the event. It's going to allow me to do a video and post the video in there talking about why I'm excited about this program, what a test group is, what I'm going to be doing, like what the benefit of joining my test group is. And it also gives me the opportunity to like keep putting the odd like before and after photo in there, or a little bit more excitement, maybe another video of you doing an MMA workout, let them know about the sneak peek. But then what happens is with an event is people get a chance to say like, yes, I'm going, or maybe. And so each day I can go into my event and see who said, yes, I'm going, or maybe, and recognize those as people who are interested. And I can message those people and start my conversations. I can ask them what they know about the program. I can share a little bit more. I can explain about the test group, and I can invite them into my official challenge group so that they're ready to go. And really, I'm funneling them down so that at the end of that conversation, when they say, okay, yes, I'm ready, what I usually say is like, okay, would you like me to message you when it goes live to order? Because sometimes the new programs do go on back order or get sold out quickly. Do you want me to make sure that I message you at that moment so that you can order as soon as it goes live and make sure to get it on time? So, and that's a huge part of what we do in this event, or what I do that works for me. Who do I invite to my event? Randoms? No. So I will create an event in my personal page, and I will go through, and this does take some time, but I will go through and invite like my friends, and I use this loosely because a lot of them I don't know as well anymore, but I will invite, we used to be able to invite everybody, but now I think they've capped us at 500. So you can go in and just like click and invite. You might want to pay your child to do this or ask them nicely, because it can take a little bit of time. I guess they are randoms, but they're technically, you connected with them before. But I wouldn't, I typically focus in on women. So like, I'm not going to invite the guys in my network. I'm not going to invite people I know who are pregnant right now, like things like that. I'll make sure. I'm just going to make sure. Mary's muted there, I think. Hang on. There we go. Okay. So that's how I start my event. And then you can still do a call to action beyond that, but that's where I find I get the most interest and excitement and start the most conversations, is in that event part. And then the last thing I do is I make a list of people who might like this program. I actually go through my customer base, and even though I've sent out like a group email, I'll go through my customer base and my general contacts of people, and write down the names of people who I really think might enjoy this program, and I personally message them. So that list might be long, like it might be 60 to 80 people to 100 people, but I will personally message them, and it might be a little bit generic, but the first couple lines or first line will be specific to them, and I let them know what I'm doing and that it's a program that totally made me think of them, and if it's something that they are interested in, I would love to share information on it. And if not, that's okay. But I think those pieces are such critical pieces. Like, one, making sure that we are talking about it and generating the interest, so that when we create our event next week or the week after, that it's not the first time people have heard of it, that they've already like seen us doing this kind of workout. It's already been something they started to think about. You've given them kind of marketing hits to warm them up, so that when you give the event out there, it's not cold. They're like, oh yeah, okay, maybe I'm interested in this. And then you can start your conversations through that. So that's my system anyway for getting ready for a launch. And as I said, I can't really emphasize enough the importance of your excitement around the program. The more that you know about the program, take the time to understand what's out there anyway, and get excited about it, the more you'll find that your network gets excited about the program. Does anybody have any questions? Oh, wait, Mary, I think I muted you. Sorry.
Okay.
Oh, there you go.
Okay. I was just wondering, do you know how much the program's going to cost?
No, that's a great question. I'm quite sure the program will be on promotion for 164 Canadian. It'll probably be a 186, but 164 Canadian for the challenge pack promotion. And likely on its own, it'll probably be a $60 to $76 Canadian program.
Okay.
I'm just going off that based on other 30-day programs that they've done. So, and they seem to stick in that price range. That would be my best answer. But we usually, we should know that soon.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. And I did notice in the FAQ that I was kind of surprised about that the digital download of it will likely not be released at the same time. So if people I think it might be a week later or a few days later. I don't know for sure, but that was sort of what I understood from reading the FAQ, is that people will be able to order the challenge pack and the original program all in the same day, or they might be able to wait to do the digital upgrade. Those digital downloads are killing your CP orders. I know. I think honestly, and this is a whole other team call, but I really think that our future needs to be about understanding how to help people with the club challenge pack, the 3 months of club and Shakeology, and getting people in on that. I really think that's going to be a smart way to start moving our business and really helping people, because so many people are going digital. And Beachbody had to go digital, and I hear it changes, it affects our volume and certainly affects, certain things, the amount of our sale, but they didn't have a choice, right? Like everybody, what people kept saying to me even before we had a digital option was like, oh, it's all on DVD. Like I can't get it digitally. It's the way it needed to go. So I just think that that's where we need to start talking more to people, is encouraging them more towards the club challenge pack. Sorry, I'm getting tired and I'm slowing down. Oh, Michelle, your hand is raised. Did you do that on purpose? Okay, good.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, hi. So you said you create an event, which I understand how to do. One thing that confuses me a little bit is you said you create it so that it's like from now until the launch date. Like, what does that mean? So if somebody will get an invite to the event and it's like, can you make it? It starts in 5 minutes,
No, that's a good question. No, basically you'll say that the event starts on October 31st or November 1st, whenever you're going to say the launch happens for you.
Yeah.
And so that they know they're being invited to this event that starts that day. Does that explain it? So that up until then, you're able to post in the event. And the other thing I really like about an event is like, if my friend says they're going to my event or interested in going to my event, then their network sees that. So I've had other people decide to be like, oh, well, maybe I want to go to that event. And so they'll click interested, and it's now a new person I get to talk to. So it's a neat way for you to connect with more than just your network, but like the friends of friends that you have.
Okay, I totally get it now. Okay.
Yeah. I do it. No problem. Erica asked, is this the day of your challenge start, or the day they order? The day they order. I really am working people towards, ordering on launch day, because ultimately I like, to have people ordered like the first day or two of a month. And then I can focus the rest of my month on helping people get results and building connections and conversations, and not on achieving Success Club. I've done this for Hammer and Chisel, and many people invited were like, I work that day. Oh, I haven't had that. So maybe put that in your video, right? Like, or your description of your event. Like this is the launch day. This is when it's going live. I usually say like my challenge groups or the test groups will start this date and this date. It's all done online. So maybe try to explain a little bit more in your description or in your video that you do talking about it. But I would just encourage you, and just remember everyone that like right now, if you're using Facebook, that video really is king. So the more you can go live and talk about it, the more that you can show yourself and share your excitement about this workout, I think the more awareness you're going to get about the program. Good. Any other questions? do you guys feel like you have a clear, understanding step by step of how to start moving towards this launch?
Can I say one thing?
Yeah.
It's not really about the launch process, but something that we've been noticing and I don't know if people had noticed this before. I mean, I don't have a lot of repeat people doing this, but they're really starting to crack down, I think, a little bit on if it's a repeat customer, you're not getting the Success Club points. So I just want to make people aware of that. Because like before, I would totally be like, if it was somebody that just hasn't bought a challenge pack since last November, I'd be obviously really pushing them for that challenge pack and counting on those points. But I think someone on our team got like points taken away and stuff like that. So
yes, I'm glad you said that. That has been, you're right. In basically, successful points should only come through new customers. It's always said that in the policies and procedures. However, it was hard for them, I think, in their system to determine a new customer from someone who maybe had been a customer, like with a challenge pack, not stopped drinking Shakeology for several months and then come back with a challenge pack, which they're entitled to do, but they couldn't really determine that difference. So sometimes we would get the Success Club points twice. And I think that you'll probably still see that continue to happen occasionally unless they change the policies and procedure, but we don't want to count on those. So just have a heads up on that one. And I was just going to say something else about, wait, Michelle, you have a question?
I already forget what I was going to ask.
Okay, sorry. Do any of the other leaders who have been around for a launch, any tips that have worked for you, things that have happened that you found helpful? Nada. I covered it all. I was so thorough. Oh, Christine has something.
I definitely agree with the excitement part. And I think that if you admit to people that can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I should probably check that first with all the difficulties I've been having. I think that sometimes we are worried about the new programs and whether we're going to get the footwork right, or whether we're going to look okay while we're recording something or posting something or any of those things. And I think a lot of people, when they just see that you are human and you're excited and you're putting yourself out there and it's something new and that you still have like fuel for your fire, I think they almost get more interested in the fact that, like, whether you've been doing it for a month or whether you've been doing it for a year or 2 years or 3 years. Like, I look at it and I'm like Bria's excitement level just gets me excited on its own, whether it's Country Heat or, Coeur de Force or whatever it is. And so because people have already been secretly stalking you, when you show the excitement and the uncertainty and you're honest about it, then people are like, you know what, if she's saying she doesn't really know how to like take some person's head and hammer it into their knee, but she's going to try, I'd really like to just do that. So it's the authenticity portion.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I think that is what people can get excited about, is just knowing, like, if you show, it's going to be hard for me too, that kind of idea. Awesome. Michelle, did you remember your question?
Yes, I did. It was actually about if you know the answer to this, about the eating plan. Like, do you think it's portion fix?
I'm sure it's portion fix. Yeah. I think they seem to be, I think that they have really found that to be a great niche for people. And with it fixate the cooking show and everything, I think that's really where they're keeping it. And on that note, I think that they're going to start working towards putting like a portion fix tracker in Challenge Group Tracker, just so you know. I'm sure we'll start to see that too, which is a really cool thing. Wouldn't that be awesome? Good question.
Sorry, Bria.
No, go ahead.
Sneak in there before you sign off. Sorry, I had my picture up. I was finishing my workout, guys, while this team call started, because I'm very behind today. We got it done. I did the event for Hammer and Chisel like this last year, and it was helpful. What I am a little challenged with, and maybe you can shed some light, maybe you guys have some better experience with this than I do. Most of the people that I'm dealing with are getting started, and this feels like a program that's more for somebody who's already been at it. So I'm definitely going to offer it to my existing challengers. But I I need to just tweak how I talk about what it's going to do for people, because it's a totally different person that's going to want this, just like it was with hammer and chisel. Do you have any tips on how to, like, who this is for and how to talk about that?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I don't want to, I don't want to single you out, Marini, but I'm going to. You said in Successfit, I know that you did it and you were, I think, a little overwhelmed by it and as a beginner. And I think, I do think that the toughest part for a beginner in this program is going to be that there is a level of coordination that they're going to need to work into. Whereas one of the best parts about 21 Day Fix is that the moves themselves they don't take a lot of finesse and coordination the way something like a dance workout. Like, I know a lot of people, I felt super frustrated in Country Heat for the first few workouts that I did. So, but I think, so I don't know, Marini, if you have anything you want to say about that, because maybe that would help. Sorry. I put you on.
I'm going to kill you. Yeah, I found it very difficult. I just didn't know what the expectations were when I started it. So that was the big issue for me. Jesse, the same thing. He came up from downstairs 5 minutes into it and said, I'm doing that. And he didn't do it. So I think it's you know what, if you haven't done this kind of thing before, and you were naming all these programs, so I'm definitely going to look at this, and I'm definitely not giving up on it. I'm going to tackle it again on the 24th because I'm determined, and maybe by the 24th I won't be as sore as I am right now. Don't ask me to stand up. But it is, I think this program, I mean, I'd like to see more, because I don't think it's for that first time person unless they've done something else. I think it's not difficult. It's just that there wasn't a lot of, just that sneak peek we saw there wasn't a lot of explanation, and it was very short and sweet. It's like, okay, you got it? Like, let's go. And I'm like, no, I don't have it. And I kept going back. So I think there's a valid point there that it might not be for everybody, but I'm interested in it. So, I mean, I'm not giving up on it yet. That's something I really want to try again.
Awesome. That's helpful, I think, because I do think, like, with the modifier, like, I do think that any level can do it. And I think that what Marini said there was really key about that she wasn't prepared for it. Like, I hadn't as her coach, even, like, I think done a very good job of explaining what to expect in it. So I just think that that's how we need to talk to people. And the bonus is that if you're talking to beginners and you're explaining this aspect of it to them, that, if they start to think like maybe not, then you can point them in another direction, which is really great until they're ready. Because that is a valuable point. The tough thing about these shortened workouts now, because everything is all about like the 30-minute or less workout, is that they don't give you a lot of time for learning. You have to make that choice. And that's why I think we saw it with like Country Heat. There's like that extra breakdown. And there is, I don't know if you noticed, but with this one, there is sort of like a breakdown here, the moves a little bit, which is like an extra 8 minutes. So I would encourage people, maybe as you talk to them, like, just be honest. I think that's probably the best bet. I do believe anyone can do it, though.
Can I say one thing? The neat part is that all of the top challenge packs are still on sale for this month. So if you get someone that really is a beginner, you can also just say, well, make sure you order before October 31st, because it's only on sale for this month. And the next month, it's going to be the next one. So you kind of have two niches to work with. But I do think it's like so important to be honest with people about the level of and like what it is. And that's why I think it's important to like video yourself doing it and showing it, because it might not be for everybody. And if they can see a little snippet of it, they can make that decision before they buy. Because if they end up buying it and then hating it and not following through the program, they're like, the people that don't succeed talk more than the people that succeed, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
So then they're just going to be like, oh, these programs don't work. They're going to return their money back there. So it's important to like really listen to their needs and steer them towards the right program, rather than, because who cares if you sell 0 of this particular challenge pack? as long as you sell 3 challenge packs, period, right? So
That's
it
a
doesn't
good,
really matter the program you're selling. You still need to really just listen to the needs of who you're talking to.
yeah. And I love that point, because really another big valuable piece about creating an event is that you're starting conversations, and that's what we do. We start conversations about health and fitness and goals. Thanks, Carla. Rachel, did you have something to say?
I have sort of 2 things. So I'm doing Insanity Asylum right now, which is so far outside of my comfort zone that like I can't even see the screen. Like it's so hard. And it's got the agility ladder and I'm jump roping and I don't even know how to jump rope and I'm hitting myself in the head with the jump rope. So I feel like I understand what it's like to be in the position of somebody who's doing a workout where you feel like you're way out of your league. And like, when I'm talking to my challengers about it, and, it's people who have never worked out before and they're struggling with something like just the 21-day fix, saying to them, press pause and go back a minute and go over it again. Do it one more time. Or press pause, take a break, cool down, and then go back and, break it down into little pieces. I think that's really important to really understand that while people may be nervous about it, if somebody is interested in it and they want to push themselves to that next level, like anyone can do this. They just have to give themselves a little bit of time with it.
And have an open mind.
That totally screwed up on was that my 3-year-old son saw me doing this and he got up next to me like a little Batman and started punching and doing the burpees, and he was kicking, like he loved it. And my camera ran out of space and it wasn't recording the video. I mean, it was the cutest thing I ever saw in my life. And I know that people responded really well to seeing videos of people doing country heat with their family members and with their kids. So if you have a kid, if you have a couple of kids, if you have boys especially, let them, kind of try to do it with you. Like my son, asked if we could do the punching thing again today. And I was like, oh, sorry, buddy, we don't have the punching thing anymore. But I think that's something that like, if you have kids and, that would definitely appeal to moms of boys.
I love that. That's a really great tip. I think it is important to show, that when we do new things that it's hard. And I think has to be part of our conversations and just to encourage people along, because a lot of people are very tenacious, like Rachel pushing through with Asylum and Marini, like, even though you were frustrated, you just said like, I'm determined, right? Like, so some people have that mindset and that is something that's a flame you want to fan. But I think you're right. Just a little bit of encouragement, because I do believe this can be for anyone if it's their kind of workout that they like. If not, then we'll point them in another direction. Does that help, Jody?
It does. Thank you.
Okay. Does anyone else have any other questions on the program or the launch? Okay. Awesome. Well, I'm excited for it. I think like it's on October 5th, so we've got some good time, but I would really encourage you before the end of this week to make your list, your to-do list of what you need to do, like whether you wrote it down right now as we were talking or you're going to listen to this again. But that is very much what I do. Like tomorrow, or I've sort of already done it, but I know that the beginning of next week, I'll be creating my event so that these are the conversations I'm having. And up until then, you're going to see me on my page talk more about Core de Force and why I like it and why I'm excited about it. And when it's happening, so that I am sort of generating that interest already and just letting people know about the test group. So you can certainly do posts that aren't even like a specific ask, but just letting them know about it. So it's like little seeds for them. Awesome. Okay, guys. Well, good luck. Have a great, great month. I know we'll talk again next week, but reach out. I know that this can sometimes we all have good and bad days. I've had a couple tough ones, so I know those feelings. So just reach out if you're having a rough go and you need some support. That's what we're all here for. Have an awesome evening. And, oh yes, I'm going to stop recording. Sorry.